welcome to your number one channel, Cable Plus Property, your favorite online educative platform where you get detailed information on how all that has to do with the built environment in terms of building construction, documentation, regulation, and particularly obtaining planning permit. My name is Oiza, and in this video, I have with me the Permanent Secretary of the ministry that you would call the mother of agencies like LASURA, LASPA, LAFSCA, etc. It's no other than the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, Engineer Olumide Shotire. Let's go. Engineer Oluwole Olumide Shotire was born into the family of late engineer and Mrs. Shotire. He began his education at St. Mary's Private School, Ajele, and proceeded to the International School, Ibadan, for his secondary education. In 1989, he graduated with honors in civil engineering from the prestigious University of Lagos. He went further to bag a master's degree in construction management in 1992 from the same university. Oluwole started his professional career as a youth corper in Delta State, where he worked on various projects with the design and construction department of the Escravos Tank Farm of Chevron Nigeria Limited. Post NYSC, he moved on to Demabog Nigeria Limited and Eshro Associates Limited, where he served as site engineer and design engineer respectively. Engineer Shotire joined the Lagos State Civil Service as an executive engineer GL2 and steadily rose through the ranks to become director GL17 in 2016. He has served in various capacities across the following MDAs: the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Lagos State Public Works Corporation, Ministry of Education and Ministry of Housing. He was appointed Permanent Secretary in September 2022. An astute professional, Oluwole Shotire, a current registered engineer, is a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers. He is also a 2008 awardee of the Lagos State Productivity Award. Engineer Olumide Oluwole Shotire is happily married and blessed with 3 lovely children. This is Cable Plus Property. We'll be back. Like I rightly said on my introduction, you oversee the functions of some professional departments in the ministry, as well as agencies like LASPA, LAFSCA, LASURA, and others. So can you please explain to the viewers one of their main functions that has direct link with the public?
Thank you very much, Lenta. Well, I wouldn't say one of their main functions. It's our main function of the ministry. We all work together as one. And while we have different agencies and different departments, we allow people to specialize in particular areas. Like this is the ministry in charge of planning, and it starts from the master plan. We all want to live in an orderly society. If we do not plan this society ahead of time, there will be no order. Everybody will build as he or she wishes. There will be no good road alignments. Even our waterways will be blocked. You'll be having factories in the same area as residential areas, and of course, there will be so much disorder. So we have all these agencies and departments guiding us in the different aspects of planning. We have those that come out with the initial master plan, looking at the state as a whole. What do we plan? And then you go into the smaller plans. We have the development matters, we have local plans, layouts, etc. We also have the various agencies that carry out different things. We have LASPA, which is the agency that is directly in charge of issuing the permits. So specific permits, individual permits, we have that organization taking care of that. We have LABCA, which is the other agency in charge of building control. We want to see that you are building right. You are meeting up the necessary standards. Why is this necessary? We don't want to look at it that it's my building. The truth is, it's your building, but people will come there. It could even be a commercial building. And so members of the public will come in. We want to make sure that building is safe. It's government job to safeguard lives and properties. So we don't want members of the public coming in and something happens to the building, their lives will be affected. We also have LASURA, which is in charge of the Urban Renewal Agency. They're in charge of, they look at slums. We have areas that have degenerated over the years. And they are into looking at it and trying to renew the environment. Try to make sure we can bring them back up to standard, bring them to how to reward this style of living. And of course, we have LASPEMA. This is an agency that is in charge of all the incidental setbacks. We set out roads, we set out canals, highways. There are these spaces left behind. We want to make sure it is being put to proper use, so that these spaces are not abused and again we have a bad effect on the society.
Now, the cases of building collapse, for one, has been quite rampant in Lagos. Lately, you read the news, it's that a building collapse here or there. So what exactly can we say to this? Are we going to say that the professionals are not enough, or what exactly is the reason, as the permanent secretary of the ministry and the professional yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm happy you talked about professionals. And so, who are the professionals? The professionals are people that are qualified, who have gone through a process and have learned how to do things right, what is supposed to be done. When you have a building collapse, somebody or some people have not done the right thing. And that's why there's a building collapse. If I interpret it correctly, I would just like to say that these buildings, they have not involved the necessary professionals. If you do not have professionals involved in your building, you should not be building. So I wouldn't say there are not enough professionals. I would rather say people are not engaging the services of the professionals. And that's why if you know you want to put up a structure, there's no reason why you want to put a specialist structure. Let's say you want to put up a tank farm. You need to get a professional who is already versed in the construction of such. So it starts from the design and then the construction. It even goes beyond that. There's also the procedure of maintenance. So even when you put up the structure, if you don't maintain it properly, over the years, it will collapse. So, like I said, there are enough professionals, but we need to involve members, developers, to properly engage the services of professionals.
So, if I take your word for it, the reason we have cases of building collapse in Lagos is because the developers are not engaging the activities of professionals.
Yes, that's exactly why you have collapses.
All right.
You could actually engage someone's service and not take his advice.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, you have not engaged him.
Okay.
Because if I engage you to do something for me and I'm not letting you do it, then why did I engage you in the first place? So we know a lot of times we see developers who want to cut corners, save money on cement, use less cement, use wrong sizing of reinforcement, or use less reinforcement than they're supposed to use. And you must also see, there are also procedures for construction. You must test your materials. Is it in line with what was designed? So you don't just go to the market and someone tells you this is a 16 mm rod, and you just move in and start using it. Is it meeting with the strength? So those are the services that professionals should advise the developer. If you are not taking the advice of the professional, I would take it that you have not engaged the professional.
Okay. Now, when you engage developers in conversations, they tell you that the reason they don't take the legal way or apply for planning permits and all of that is because of the cost of procuring these documents. And so, what is your take on this, and how do you think the government can assist them in this regard?
So, we are expecting services. The truth is, even services do not come free. Even when it is government services, the government will have to pay for personnel. They will have to pay for equipment. They will have to pay for the logistics, monitoring vehicles, and whatnot. So there's a fee they're expected to pay. And the truth is, as you know, people don't want to pay. So when you say something, a fee is high, it's relative. I mean, I want to put up a structure that's going to cost me 4 billion, and I'm telling you to pay 200,000, which is just about 5%. And you think it's too much? No, it's not. The truth is, it's in this part of the world, we're always finding excuses and think services should be free. No, but it's also in other parts of the world, people pay for services. And so if you look at the percentage, no, it's not high. But it's because we've been used to not paying for services, or we believe we can avoid paying and getting with it. But you can be rest assured, government is doing its best, and we will catch all those that are not getting the necessary permits because they are running away from paying for these services. So you just must pay. Government wants to render the correct service.
Okay.
It's going to come at a cost.
Don't you think the government should reduce the costs so that it can encourage more regulation, more how do I put this now?
Encourage more people to submit?
Yes, to apply for the approval.
So we have to be careful here, because the truth is we want to provide services. If we reduce the cost and we are not able to provide these services, is it worth reducing the cost? So the truth is we must create a balance. What is it going to cost us to provide the correct services? And that's what we should be looking at. It's not about, like I said, when you say the cost is high, it is very relative. If you are providing the services, and that's the cost you need to provide the services, I don't think that cost is high, because the services must be provided.
The law is no respecter of persons. So how can the rich and mighty in the society, who always usually fail to comply with the rules? Because when you read stories of building collapse cases that we have in Lagos, they are usually owned by powerful people in the society, and you realize that they did not follow the rules and regulations. How can they be brought to book in Lagos State?
Okay, so well, we have laws governing us and governing the processes for permits and construction. The law is no respecter of persons. If you flout that law, there is the laid out punishment. Wherever there's a collapse, we make sure the appropriate investigation is carried out, and we bring to book those that have to be punished. We take them to court, and we go by the guidelines of the law. Part of our laws ensures that wherever there's a death, such properties could be seized. The developer could be penalized, could be punished, could be sent to jail. So the law would not respect any person, whether you are poor or you are rich. If you flout the state regulations, appropriate action will be carried out.
So whoever disobeys the rule will be taken to court to that.
Definitely. We've had cases of well, there are various steps, so you might not get to know all the steps. First, from serving the necessary notices, you give them a warning, you invite them. If work is ongoing, you tell them to stop work, give them the necessary notices. Occasionally, you see red marks, here and there. These are all warning signs. Those are usually for cases where they have not met up with the permits. And so, I'm sure we do that. I don't think there's any building we cannot do that now.
I'm tempted to ask maybe an example of such a case.
I'm sure if you go to okay, so let's say the big men are in Ikoyi and Victoria Land. I'm sure if you go around Ikoyi and Victoria Land, you will see them. I don't think there's any poor man building in Ikoyi. Yeah. So definitely you go around Ikoyi, you go around Victoria Land, you will see some of them.
Okay.
I can beat my chest.
All right. So let's talk about the new programs that the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development is coming up with, and that is the Certified Accredited Program and the Certificate of Structural Integrity Program. Can you enlighten our viewers on what these entail?
So, in a bid to provide this the same services we are talking about to members of the public, the state government has deemed it fit to include professionals in the sector, and this has been the recommendations that have come from various investigative panels on collapsed buildings, that professional bodies should be involved in the planning and building control process. And so, what are these processes about? The first one is the CAP, which is called the Certified Accredited Program. And what we are doing here is we are inviting members of the professional sector in the built environment to join us in the permit approval, getting the permits. So they join us in screening drawings. When you submit your drawings, professionals are also involved from the private sector. They look at the drawings to make sure it's okay for construction. We do the charting together, and when construction starts, they will also be involved in the monitoring. The staging, which is normally done by LabSCA, will also be done by professionals in this sector. And so that's the CAP. The other program, the CSIP, Certificate of Structural Integrity Program, we focus on existing buildings. Like I said, buildings do not only collapse when they are being constructed. If you have a building and you are not carrying out adequate maintenance, it could deteriorate to a level where it will also collapse. And so, the professionals in the private sector will also be joining us in carrying out investigations. Of course, first of all, from visual observation, you see something, you know whether you want to do further investigation. So we have professionals from the build sector also joining us, joining the state government in carrying out these activities. We hope it will provide a more transparent process. People will be more convinced of intentions of government to carry out this process transparently. Everybody thinks the government services are shrouded in secrecy, but now we're inviting members of the private sector.
All right. So to further convince the people, how I would like you to explain to them how the CAP program particularly would benefit them in terms of ensuring the quality and safety of buildings.
So, one, it's going to help us with speed of approval. We are getting to a stage where you wouldn't even be allowed to submit if all your documents are not complete and correct. So that means we need a lot of people working with us, and that's why we're also inviting the private sector. So we'll be able to quickly screen your drawings, screen your documents, and certify that everything is okay. So you should be getting your approvals out faster. And again, we have additional people helping us to monitor buildings. You said something about maybe we do not have enough professionals. I want to make it clear again that these people are not going to supervise construction jobs. They are going to ensure that it is being supervised. It will not be the job of these people to come and supervise for you. You are expected to have your own professional supervisors. But they will be there to confirm that truly you have a professional supervisor working for you. So that's
impressive. Okay, let's talk about the criteria and qualifications that professionals in the built environment need to meet in order to be part of the Certified Accredited Program.
Okay, well, so definitely you must be a professional in the field of practice that you are being called upon to work with the government. Depending on the category in which you will be registered for, there are various years of experience. And obviously, you must be registered to practice. So you must have paid your practicing fee for the year. Well, other more specific qualifications will be sent to them as they apply, depending on the category for which they are applying. But the basic things are, of course, you must be qualified as per educational qualification. You must have the requisite experience, and of course, you must not have had any previous infraction. With your professional body, maybe for professional misconduct. We cannot afford a case of mistakes now. So we need to make sure it's somebody who is clean and clear with the professional body. But other more specific qualifications will be sent to the individual groups as they apply.
Is it open to any professional at all to apply, or?
Yes, everybody can apply, but if you do not qualify, you will be struck out of the list. Any professional can apply. Don't let me say anybody can apply.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Certificate of Structural Integrity Program. Okay. Let's get into that. How will that program help to address the issue of building collapse in Lagos State?
Okay. So building collapse come in two forms. Like I said, buildings under construction and buildings that are already existing. The Certificate of Structural Integrity Program is more of buildings that are existing. We have a lot of them. You see a lot of buildings that are dilapidated. You see some of them, as a result of damp, the reinforcement has started to corrode. You begin to see the walls turning green. Block work begins to disintegrate. So these are all concerns which, if are not addressed on time, could lead to the eventual collapse. And how do we detect this? So we need more monitoring. We need more people on the field, more people to go out and check these buildings. And so that's what we are doing now. We want to bring them in, and they will also move around with us. We might not be able to cover everywhere. That's the present government officers. So we have the professionals working with us who will also help us in detecting such. And so we're able to advise them on actions to remedy this upcoming failure before it gets out of hand. And those that cannot be remedied, we will recommend demolition before it becomes a more serious case of collapse and killing innocent citizens.
So, like the case of the Certified Accredited Program, will the professionals in this program be directly involved in the monitoring, or they are just to oversee?
Yes, it's like I said, the CSIP is about existing buildings. The CAP is about the planning, permit, and construction of new buildings. So we're talking about existing buildings. We're looking at, when I say existing, I won't want to use the word old, because it might be a newly constructed building, but it's already failing, maybe because of some bad construction. So they will also be involved in monitoring this. They're directly involved in the monitoring.
Okay, so how will the new initiatives streamline the building approval process and also reduce delays for individuals and organizations seeking construction permits? I know you already sort of made a touch on that, but just for elaboration.
Yeah, so like I said, we would have many more ones available now. So what would have been limited to 10 people, maybe we now have about 20 or 30 people doing it. So we expect we'll turn out results faster.
Okay. What are the steps being taken? I'm asking this question because I know you'll be speaking authoritatively to raise public awareness about the importance of hiring certified professionals and also conducting regular inspections for building safety. That's 2 in 1.
Okay. So when you say certified professionals, we are not talking about our own program. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want you to get confused with the word certified, because those also be bells. So it's important for members of the public to hire professionals to carry out their work. I've always said something. There are 3 groups of people involved, and if any of us think it doesn't concern me, it's not the best. So there's the developers team.
Who are the 3 groups?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's the developers team, which includes the developer, who might be different from the clients, the professionals involved, the contractor, the workmen, people that are directly involved with the job. There is the government team. That's the regulators. Those of us that were going for monitoring, or inspecting, And like I said, so the CAP, LAPCA, LASPA, LASURA, LASPEMA, were all those on the government side, also trying to make sure that people are doing things within the regulations. And then finally, we have members of the public who we always think it doesn't concern you. But the truth is, it concerns you because a shopping complex is being built. If it's not well built, one day you just might be the person going there to buy a bar of soap and it collapses. So these three groups of people, we cannot afford to keep quiet. When does the public come in? I'm sure the role of the developers team and the government team is easily understood. But when does the public come in? You see something being done wrong, or you see a developer walking in the middle of the night, midnight, when it doesn't make sense. There's no reason why you should not raise an alarm. Why should this man be working at this time? And that's what we call the whistleblowers. People should not keep quiet. When you see something, say something. That government can also come in and make sure the right things being done.
So how is the ministry further educating the public, on these things that you mentioned?
So only yesterday, the Lagos State Building Control Agency had roadshows all over the state. It's still to bring the awareness before the people. You just need to always remember that you need to do things right. Everybody's shouting out things are expensive, cement is expensive, reinforcement is expensive. But the truth is, if you are not ready to spend that money, don't start construction. So the roadshow done by LASCA yesterday, for example, is to let people be aware. We've also carried out a few stakeholders forum on this CAP and the CSIP. And we also, last part too, has been churning out information on social media, letting people know that you need to build right. Like I said, it's for our good. You might look at it that what's my business is not my house, but it just might be a commercial building where you are going to buy something. You might not even be the one, it might be your child, it might be an uncle, it might be a friend who is there at that time. And so we do not pray for some of these things, but the only time they won't happen is if we all do the right thing. So you'll be seeing a lot of jingles here in the social media, on the radio, on the television. And we also have stakeholders meeting. The various agencies are having stakeholders meeting at different times to let people be aware of the need to involve professionals in their building process.
Still on the CAP and CSIP program, will the introduction of these programs result in any changes whatsoever to the building regulations or codes?
No. Like I said, they are just joining us, but not changing anything. They're just joining us in making things work faster and better.
So it does not make any change whatsoever, probably in the length of time that the developer is required to provide documents or...
Like I said earlier, we are going to we are moving towards a stage where we won't even accept your documents if everything is not complete. Because what happens most of the time is people provide 80% of the documents. And they go out and say, we have provided all our documents, we have gotten our approval. But you cannot get your approval if all your documents are not complete. That 10% that is outstanding will tie down the entire process. So we're getting to the stage where if all your documents are not complete, we will not even let you submit.
How is the government looking to collaborate with professionals and stakeholders in each environment to ensure the success of this initiative? Because you would agree with me that as much as it seems impressive and excellent already, implementation is very important. So how is the government looking to do that?
Well, so we're starting this program with a pilot scheme. We're going to choose selected areas because we know there will definitely be teething problems. And so with this pilot scheme, we would see possible problems that could arise. We have tried to sit down and critique everything and look at the areas, but again, we are not 100% perfect. So we know as we start, we'll be encountering various issues. And so that's why we're starting with a pilot scheme. And we'll see as it goes. And if we have not spread too far, we'll be able to understand the problem and prefer solutions. So as we expand, we'll have ideas of the kind of problems that can arise and we'll be ready for them. The main fear would be professionals that could be compromised. That's the main fear. So definitely, for now, the process is going to be regulated from this office.
Okay.
I will be keeping a close watch. We would also be relating with the regulatory bodies. That's the professional regulatory bodies, COREN, TOPREC, ACON, COBON, all the regulatory bodies, to monitor these people. And of course, anybody found or caught for professional misconduct could be punished, could have his or her license withdrawn for a couple of years or for life. That's how we tend to control that.
That's very encouraging. So are these programs free? You said earlier that any professional in the built environment can apply. So is it free? How are they to apply, or would there be any form of remuneration?
Yes. So first of all, when you apply, of course, you'll be expected to register. You'll be asked to pay minimal registration fee. Now, it's not about increasing revenue, but it's to ensure that you are serious. We don't want everybody just coming, and some of them are not even really serious. It's like, let's just see what is happening there. So you'll be expected to pay a registration fee, and once you are registered, you are allocated certain districts to cover. These extra services would also be paid for by the applicants. But again, it's very minimal compared to what they pay normally. It's just an added service, so applicants will also be expected to pay for it.
An added service?
No, the CAP.
Okay.
Like I said, it's an added service. So what we're doing, and like I keep telling people, like they are coming to, you are doing something and we want to check and cross-check. There's no reason why you want to put up a structure. You, the client, you, the person putting out the funds, I'm sure you don't want your funds to go to waste. But of course, you are not a professional. And so you want to rely on what your professional is telling you. But the truth is that if you are going to put that a little bit extra, to make sure that even your professional is not deceiving you, I don't think it is too much to do. So you want to be sure that even the professional you employed is doing the correct thing. So you want another professional to cross-check.
Oh, so the developer will be paying for the services of the said professional?
Yes, the CAP.
Oh, okay.
The CAP program.
Okay. An interesting question. Do you think that an average developer in Lagos would be willing to make that payment?
So like I said, it's a very minimal payment. People don't want to pay for anything. I'm sure if I asked you, let me take you for free lunch, you wouldn't mind.
Gladly.
But then if you keep going for free lunch every time, you need to beware. Good. So at some point, you should be ready to pay for your own lunch. So it's the same thing. If you keep wanting free services, you need to be careful. You might not get value. So of course, if you want to get value, you have to pay for it.
Okay, so what happens in a case where the developer, is not ready to pay? Are there any sanctions for such a developer?
No. So when it's law, you don't have an option. You see, you don't have a choice to say, I want to follow the law. So for this process, there's a certain stage to which you are allowed to pay or not pay. There are certain numbers of flaws which you say, okay, I don't want the CAP involved. But after a certain number of flaws, you don't have an option.
Okay.
Like I said, because it's not just about you, the developer, or the owner. Members of the public might come there. You might even come and visit a person. And that's when the building collapses. So you don't have a choice. It's now law. And so you must just abide by it.
Okay, I think it's quite understandable now. So there's a certain number of flaws that can be excused. But the moment it crosses that number, you have to pay for it. Alright. Well, as it turns out, we're almost rounding off. What is your general message to the public vis-a-vis encouraging them to involve professionals and also, the new program that the ministry is coming up with to aid the reduction of building collapse in Lagos State?
Okay, so first of all, I want to appeal to developers and members of the public. We should not just be concerned about profits and maximizing our gains in construction industry. The truth is that what does the profit once you invest so much, and because of a little mistake, you lose your entire investment. I mean, you put up a structure, you're on the 6th, 7th floor, and because you did not do something right on the 1st or 2nd floor, the whole building could come down. So most of the time, we're actually being penny wise and foolish. And like I keep saying, look at what percentage of the construction is that we're talking about. It's very minimal. But a lot of the time we tend to look at that small percentage and we begin to play games. You lose the entire investment. So I want to appeal to members of the public and to developers. Don't let us be penny wise and foolish. Again, I also want to appeal to members of the public. When you see things, please tell us. We have an app, MPPUD. They could go onto it and report incidents. You don't even have to put your name. You don't even have to know who it is that is reporting. So that government officials can go and do there. If you see anything that you don't think is right, just let us know. We cannot see it all. We'll try our best to see it all. But we might not be in a position to see exactly everything. So I'm encouraging members of the public. I keep saying, when you see something, please say something. And I'm encouraging developers, please let us try and abide by the law. Let us get the correct and necessary permits. There is no point trying to cut conduct. Like I said, it's for us all. What you think does not affect you today might affect you tomorrow, might affect your children, your brother, your sister, your friend. So once we do it right, we are safe and everybody is safe. I want to request developers and then prospective developers to always engage the services of professionals whenever they want to carry out construction. Not just the services of professionals, because they should also make sure they have the necessary permits. They should go through the correct process and not try to cut corners. I'll also encourage them not to fall for the antics of artisans. We have a lot of artisans that are sweet-mouthed, and of course they'll come with reduced fees, and you're excited. But like I said, that again is being penny-wise, pound foolish. I mean, fine, some artisans have experience, but you only have experience in what you know. You only have experience in what you've learned. There's no way a bricklayer will tell you he knows how to design a slab. So I want to again talk to I also want to talk to the artisans. They should stop trying to act like they are in charge and that they are professionals. Most of the times when there are collapses and there are deaths, artisans are involved. So they also risk their lives. And so they need to put that at the back of their mind. Get paid for your services, but do not try to act like you can provide services you do not know. Do not pretend to be a professional. Let your contractor know that, sir, this is the extent of my work, this is the extent of my knowledge. You need the services of an engineer, of an architect, or whoever is concerned to do this, and this. And also I want to talk to the developers. Now when government officials come to site, they are coming for your good. They are trying to make sure that things are being done right. We have a lot of cases where they attack government officials. They look at them like these people are a nuisance. What are they doing here? Like I said, they are there for the general good of the public, which could be me, you, brothers, sisters, family, friends. And so I want to encourage them, let them do their work. Once they confirm that your papers are in order, they will leave your site. And please, if your papers are not in order, do not try to go violent. You need to put your papers in order.
As we finally round off, sir, we would like you to give a piece of advice to the Cable Plus Property Organization.
Well, I want to, first of all, congratulate Cable Plus for the thought of bringing this to members of the public. You're also assisting the government in enlightening people on what is right and what should be done. I want to say a big thank you to them because you are doing it free of charge. You're not asking for services, and I pray for the organization that just as you have started, the Lord will continue to make it grow bigger and will be an organization that will be sought for.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. We've come to the end of the interview.
Thank you very much.
Like you rightly heard from the horse's mouth, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, Engineer Olumide Oluwole Shotire. The Lagos State government is doing all it can to reduce cases of building collapse in the state, and that is via the introduction of the CAP and the CSIP programs. However, you also have your role to play as members of the public and as a developer or prospective developer by obeying rules and regulations and engaging the services of professionals. This is where we draw the curtain on the Cable Plus Property Show. My name is Oiza. Don't forget to share the video, like, drop a comment, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Cable Plus Property across all social media platforms. Till we see you in the next video. Bye for now.